Italy. This is how it's fucking done. Guys, all of Italy is shut down right now. Everybody went on strike at the same time and walked out. They are protesting what is going on in Gaza right now. And they have successfully shut down the entire fucking country.
So many Italians are just appalled at the situation in Gaza and would like their government to do something. But the Italian government until now has been deaf to those calls for action. Now, not only are there demonstrations throughout the country, there are strikes.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! From the river to the sea!
Breaking news from Italy, where one of the largest and deadliest protests in the nation's history has erupted over Israel's actions in Gaza. Demonstrators accuse Israel of genocide, and Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's response has only fueled more anger. Railway workers, port staff, teachers, and public service employees have joined a massive walkout, with over 75 cities now protesting, making it impossible for the government to ignore. In Milan, the unrest has escalated as protesters clashed with police while trying to shut down the city's main railway station. Violent confrontations are spreading, and critics have labeled the demonstrators as Antifa and migrant gangs. Protesters, however, insist the movement is about Italy's refusal to recognize Palestine, saying it reflects the frustration of ordinary citizens. The crowds are demanding three things: recognition of Palestine, an arms embargo on Israel, and sanctions on Netanyahu's government. Despite the scale of protests, Prime Minister Meloni has doubled down on her position. Italy will not recognize Palestine, leaving tensions high and unrest growing across the country.
If you guys are not Italian, or you are Italian and you only watch TV to get your news, maybe you thought that our recent protests against the Palestinian genocide were very violent and protesters are crazy people. This is bullshit. Our government is lying to you. The media is lying to you. The protests were amazing, so participated. It's so beautiful to see how many Italians are fighting for this, are speaking up on this. And obviously some violence was going on, but we also have videos of police brutality on peaceful protesters all around Italy. So what are we talking about? Our government doesn't want to recognize the Palestinian state, doesn't want to stop having economic relations with Israel, and we are tired. We are mad. I live in Livorno, and what happened here was very amazing protests, and the block Molo, I don't know how to say this in English. Basically, this is what happened. I Portuali understood that this military ship was gonna come by Livorno to get some weapons and caterpillars and stuff in a military base here in Italy. This was gonna happen yesterday night. So since the day before, they decided to occupy the port, the harbor, I don't know what's the term, and avoid that. And so many people just spent days and nights there, and they're still there to avoid this to happen, and they did. The ship is not getting through. They are so cool. A few hours later, we got the confirmation that it was not going to happen, so it was amazing. But they are still there because we still don't know where they want to get this ship in Italy. Other ports, harbors, I still don't know the term, in Italy are also protesting and occupying, and they don't want this ship either. So we don't know what's going to happen. But I just want to say I support everybody who's doing this, and I think I'm going to go there again today. This, like, what I saw, what I participated to, everything was super peaceful, everything was super organized and just amazing. And they don't talk about this. They don't talk about it. They only talk about the violence, some violence that they saw in some parts of the country, and they're not talking about this. But this is actual action. Italians are doing it because the government is not doing it. I'm proud of my country, which is very rare, and Israel and Free Palestine.
You would think that every single news outlet in the US would be reporting that an entire country has been shut down. Nothing, not a single word about the fact that Italy has been completely shut down. Everything has come to a standstill because they are fed up that no one is doing anything about Gaza. The EU specifically, they have decided that they are going to come out, workers, unions, locals, the police, the dock workers, ports have been shut down, schools have been shut down, government offices shut down, and no one is reporting it. It's not on CNN. It's not on Yahoo. Social media is the only place where you are seeing that information. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is crazy, and it says a lot. They don't want us to know this information, but yeah, Italy completely at a standstill. The largest Gaza protest by any country to this point, and they are calling it out for what it is. They're like, we are not in support of this genocide, because that's exactly what it is. And I know a lot of people are afraid to say it. They don't want their account to be banned. I don't give a crap, because it's wrong. It is wrong on so many levels. But yeah, Italy shut down. Go look it up.
All right, well, I'm supposed to be going to Italy. No, I am going to Italy in like less than 2 weeks, you guys. And because I'm going to Italy is probably the reason why I've seen what's going on in Italy, because this really isn't being covered, but I'm looking at Italy, I'm talking about Italy, so obviously Italian stuff is popping up on my feed. But did you guys know that the entire country of Italy is pretty much shut down? And the reason why they're shut down is because they are protesting. The Italians are protesting what's happening in Palestine and Gaza. And so Italy has actually sent some boats to protect the flotilla that's heading toward Gaza right now, with a ton of humanitarian efforts and supplies and stuff. Greta, her last name Thunberg, she's on this flotilla. She has more balls, brains, brawn, anything than our entire administration. She is so impressive. But of course, because she's doing something good for Gaza and she's heading on that flotilla towards Gaza, guess who has a problem with this? Israel. Israel has actually threatened her. They're calling her a terrorist organization. They're calling the flotilla a terrorist organization. They're doing everything in their power to create some really negative around this. They've actually attacked it already with drones. But you know what? She's persisting. I love her. Good on Italy. And actually, you know who else has stood up? North Korea. North Korea has said that if Israel does something against her and the flotilla, that they're going to respond against Israel. So, holy shit, you guys. I've got to say, if Israel wasn't Israel that we have now, the world would be a safer, happier place.
I would like to give a huge shout out to my Italian comrades for a remarkable display of solidarity today. Italy went on a 24-hour strike with hundreds of thousands of people from both the public and private sector taking to the streets. Public transportation, schools, ports, and railways were all halted today. Over 20,000 people gathered in Rome's central train station to protest the humanitarian disaster that is continuing to unfold in Gaza. Now, I myself actually visited Italy about a year ago at the end of September of 2024 and beginning of October of 2024. I was actually on the Amalfi Coast when Israel announced its invasion of Lebanon. And I can tell you guys firsthand that even though the Italian government still supports the state of Israel, the Italian people are absolutely fed up. These were just some of the pictures that I took on my 1-week vacation when I was in Italy last year. The support was everywhere, and it was undeniable. And Italy itself is a beautiful country, and I will be back there.
First it was Nepal, now it's Italy. The people of Italy are in the streets. It's going on a week now. They found out that their government, Republican and Democrat, were all working together and just taking away and chipping away at the Italian people's rights. And they got sick and tired of that country in the Middle East that seems to have way too much control in their government. And guess what? They said, no, we're not going to be violent. We're just not going to work. We're not going to buy anything, and we're not going to pay our taxes. And you're going to go bankrupt. It's working, folks. It's working. And guess what? That country in the Middle East that's got their hands in every other country, look what's going on at TikTok. Look what's happening right now on Facebook. Look what they're doing on YouTube. Look what UK is doing with that digital ID. You can't work, you can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't nothing without this digital ID. It is stand in line, do as you're told, and that's coming. That's coming, kids. It's coming. And if you don't stand up now, we're going to be like dogs on a leash. We ain't going to be able to get to them. We ain't going to be able to get to them. You got to stand up, kids. Look at the world. It's got a blueprint for us.
This is breaking if you aren't really following what's happening in Italy today and the protests. But in addition, Israel has just been kicked out of a major international tourism fair in Italy. Thrown out, humiliated, unwanted. And why? Because the world is done with the genocide. Thank you, Italy. This is what resistance is like in 2025. Ordinary people, unions, workers, organizers, forcing governments and institutions to stop giving Israel the red carpet while it massacres the entire people in Gaza. This is more than a boycott. It's a statement that you cannot sell beaches, hotels, and tourism while you bury children under rubble. You cannot market yourself as a normal country when the whole world sees your hands dripping with blood. And this should fuel every single one of us. Italy showed that it can be done. A small victory, but one that sends a message, a strong message, that Israel is not welcome. Zionism is not normal. Genocide cannot be washed away with PR and travel brochures. Now it's on us, on every one of us, every country, every union, every event. Kick them out, ban them, sanction them, shut every door in their faces until siege ends, until the bombs stop, and until Palestine is free. This is how we fight Zionism, not just with words, but with action, with refusal, with boycott, with global solidarity. The walls around Gaza are cracking, and every action like this strikes another blow to this cancerous parasite. Italy said no. So who is next?
Did you see the news today? That the whole world doesn't want you to see? Italians shut down Italy, as in the entire country. They shut down the country. From the north to the south. They shut down the entire country. From ports to railways to streets to universities. They shut down all 12 regions of the country. Perhaps you're not Italian or live under a rock. This should not surprise you. Italians have historically stood with the people of Palestine. Maybe you've heard this little ditty before. You see, here's the thing about Italians. We, for thousands of years, are indigenous to our homelands. Our homelands are off of the Mediterranean Sea. As people of those lands, we tend to the orange groves and we care for the olive trees. We use elaborate embroidery patterns in our clothing and our home decor. Our family recipes and the food we make are rich tradition passed down for hundreds of years. And we don't have to lie about where our DNA comes from. Because of the bad mustache German man, we were under occupation by a fascist regime. In fact, my mother's village was occupied. And it just really reminds me of a certain thing, and I wonder, I can't seem to quite put my finger on it. Oh, I actually totally can. Yeah, I can absolutely put my finger on exactly what it reminds me of. I've got to say, as the child of Italian immigrants living here on Turtle Island in so-called Canada, the fact that this was our newspaper headlines today has been so overshadowed by the Italians holding down business. Daniela Maria Bonamico said she was thrilled to hear Canada recognizing a Palestinian state, but also concerned that it won't lead to material change. I think that we've been getting a slightly more positive change in tone, but still a lot of hollow lip service, she said. Daniela Maria Bonamico, she sounds Italian as fuck. Well, that's because she's me. Two-way arms embargo. Now. Invoke Chapter 7. Send military intervention. Forza Italia and free Palestine.
Breaking news, there are riots taking place right now in central Italy, in Milano. I'm going to insert a live that I am currently watching. But yeah, this is in solidarity with the people of Palestine. The people of Italy have had enough, especially since their government has stopped allowing the warship to be alongside the flotillas in order to protect them against the Zionist terrorist state of Israel. This is what needs to be done all over the world in order to stop this Holocaust, to dismantle the Zionist state. And it's a shame that it's not happening here in the UK, but this is what needs to happen. We have to rise up. We have to do something. Enough is enough. They're not going to listen to us if we keep doing the come by my lord sort of stuff. We need to rise up. Watch this. We all need to take a leaf out of the people of Italy's book. We really, really do. In order to stop this, we have to do something. Solidarity, stay safe, and keep going, people of Italy. Do not stop.
Portami via, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire, e se io muoio da partigiano, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 e se muoio da partigiano, tu mi devi seppellire.
As I've been watching the news on the flotilla, I saw there were protests breaking out all over Italy in Rome, Naples, and Milan because the Italian government backed out of protecting the flotilla. I also saw that Colombia expelled Israeli diplomats from the country in response to them kidnapping all of the humanitarian aid workers on the flotilla. This isn't being covered that greatly in the United States, and I think it's important news to share.